So in this video, I'm going to talk about the NHS graduate scheme, which is called the Management Training Program, and they're paying £29,000 for the fresh graduates that are going to be joining their scheme. So in this video, what I'm going to do is break down the salary. I'm going to go through what the entry requirements are, and then I'm going to talk about the all-important graduate hiring process, because that is the most important thing about any scheme. If you want to get onto a graduate scheme, you have to pass the graduate hiring process, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So right off the bat, the salary is £29,000 a year, which is after tax, it's around £2,000 per month. Make what you will of that, but yes, definitely something to consider. There are higher paying schemes out there. Look on my YouTube channel, I've covered quite a few of them, and also show you the recruitment process for those schemes as well. So if you're interested, go look at those videos as well. But yeah, if you specifically want to get into healthcare, obviously NHS is the place to go. Now, it's important to remember that it's not just healthcare. It's not just for healthcare professionals. This particular scheme is called a graduate management training scheme, which means that it's got management elements into it as well. So it doesn't actually matter if you're from the healthcare background or you're not from the healthcare background. Maybe you did a degree in something completely different. All you need, which I'm going to share with you now, is a 2-2 in any subject. Okay. Now they have a few different schemes. You can check it out on the website. They have a few different pathways, so you can get into different areas of the business. But for the most part, it's a 2-2 in any subject, and this should open a lot of doors for a lot of people because you know unless you've got a third class degree, many people come out with a 2-2, and if it's in any subject, then you're eligible to kind of apply to this scheme, which is great. So that is basically the background. I'm not going to go too much in depth as to what NHS is. It's basically the UK health system. That's pretty much what it is, and anybody from the UK will know what the NHS is. Um, it's very important that you do your research on the NHS though, in terms of like what they do and how they operate, because that's going to be asked within the recruitment process. And yeah, that's what I'm going to get onto right now. So the hiring process for this graduate scheme is basically 3 steps as of now, and this is subject to change. So at the time of the recording, um, the first thing is a suitability test. Second thing is going to be a psychometric test and a recorded interview, and the third thing is going to be a virtual assessment center. So I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to kind of go through each one. So the suitability test is basically to see your CV, it's to see your background. Oh God, this is not looking good. And also just to see your suitability for the scheme. Okay. And there'll be a few questions in there, kind of asking you what you think about certain things, what you enjoy. It's mainly like motivational questions, but you must ensure, and this is what I say to all the people that I help, is there's two things you need to be careful of when it comes to these suitability and these motivational tests. Firstly, do you want to play it true to yourself? Or number two, do you want to play it so that you get the job, right? What I mean by this is the first option is you be completely true to yourself. If there's something that they ask you, do you enjoy it, and you don't enjoy it, you put down that you don't enjoy it. And this is what the scheme wants you to do. They want you to be yourself because they want to sift out the people that are not good for them, right? So if you don't enjoy high pressure environments, or you don't enjoy working in a fast paced environment, then if you're true to yourself and you don't enjoy that, you're going to put down no in those questionnaires, okay, in the suitability test. But you probably won't get the job because they are looking for people who like that environment. Now, let's be honest, most people, well, I'd say 99% of people don't like that environment. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. But if you want the job, then you've got to go with option number two, which is to play according to their playbook, right? So instead, what you do is you look at all the things that they could likely want in the job, which is someone who can work under pressure, someone who can work in a fast-paced environment, someone who can multitask, as an example, and then you play to that playbook. So you tell them, yes, I love high-pressure environments. I love a fast-paced environment, right? So you've got to play to their playbook if you want the job, right? And remember that this is the first stage, yeah? So if you mess up on the suitability test here, even though it's like shown to be taken very lightly, it's not, right? Because it will sift you out if you're not the type of person that they're looking for. So very, very important to be on the ball on this one. Once you pass this, then you go on to stage number two. Now, stage number two is very important. So you have two things, the psychometric tests and the recorded interview. So let's break this down. So we have the psychometric tests. So this will be numerical reasoning. Numerical reasoning. You will have verbal reasoning. And you may have like a situational situational awareness tests. Okay, these are usually the three popular ones that they use. Okay, so numerical, obviously, it's like GCSE maths. They will put it in certain scenarios where they want to see those skills. Verbal reasoning is where you'll have a bunch of text, or as an example, you'll be put through a certain scenario and they want to see if you can read between the lines of what's going on. And the situational judgment test is very similar to verbal as well. So it's going to be more about you're in the situation, what is the best course of action, and you'll probably have a list of different responses that you can do or different actions that you can do, and they want you to rate that. They want you to rank that from best to worst action. Okay, so psychometric tests, along with those, you might have some game-based assessments as well. So you might have like a game which you have to play, which kind of incorporates all of these. That could be the case as well. So just be prepared for any of these to come up. So in the recorded interview, you're gonna have obviously a, you might have a pre-recorded section. Pre-record. So this basically means that you might be asked a question in a video and then you've got like 1 or 2 minutes to answer to that question. It's a recorded interview, so yeah, it'll definitely be that. And you've got to obviously stay on the ball. You want to make sure that you adhere to the STAR method, which is situation, task, action, result. Um, and Yeah, so that's basically it with the recorded interview. Make sure that you're dressed up, formally, and make sure that you have a good setup. So you have the camera, you have good lighting, and all that kind of shebang. So yeah, that is the second phase, and this is probably, well, this is very important. Not probably, it is very important. Make sure that you get this right. Now, moving on to this third bit, this is the virtual assessment center. Now, this is going to be, if you make it through the first two stages, you've done something right, so well done. The third stage is going to be quite difficult, so you do really, really need to be on the ball for this one. So the virtual assessment is obviously virtual. You don't have to go anywhere for this. It's going to be through your laptop, through your computers, and make sure the first thing is that you have a PC that you're using. You don't want to be using your phone. There'll be different tasks and different activities you'll be doing. You want to be on a PC or a laptop. So make sure that you have access to a PC or a laptop and you are in a quiet environment. Okay. Quiet environment. Oh God, this is getting very, very illegible. Right. So what is going to be in the virtual assessment? So you're going to have these could come up. I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to come up, but from my 4 years of experience of setting these things, you're going to have a bunch of things that could come up. So firstly, you're definitely going to have a group task. Group task, very, very important. You're going to be with a bunch of other people. You're going to have to interact. Maybe you have to work as a team. Maybe you have to go against a team, debate exercises, those kind of things. Very, 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 very important. You need to prepare for this. You might have an interview again with one of the senior people in the company, in the organization. You might have a report that you need to do, or you might have they call it like a job simulation. So job sim, and you might have a presentation. So a presentation task. So I would say the group task is the most important one to prepare for. It's very hard to prepare for them, but there are ways of doing it. So you need to work on that. Interview, obviously, you need to work on your interview skills. Report, that's something that you'll have to kind of find out when you get to the assessment center. But I would say that make sure that your timing is on point with reports and stuff like that, because reports and job simulations are usually timed exercises. So make sure that you're wearing a watch or something, just so that you can keep keep mindful of the time. Very, very important. And then the presentation exercise, obviously, with this one, it's all about preparation. Um, Most of the times, you might be given something in advance to prepare for, so they might give you a subject that you're going to prepare in advance, which is always the best case scenario. Now, graduate applications do absolutely take ages. They can be tiring and very, very confusing. So, if you want to speed things up, I would highly recommend that you check out my grad toolkit, which is linked in the description below. Basically, I give you all the tools that I use to speed up my applications 4 years on the trot. So, what you get is my winning graduate CV and cover letters. You also get a graduate job tracker so you can stay organized in your applications. And you also get my model graduate interview questions and answers. So all the questions that I've faced as an interviewee and all the answers that I use to get to the next stages for those questions. It's going to be linked in the description below, basically just to help you speed up the process. With the winning CVs, you can literally just copy and paste your stuff into there, and the cover letters, and it's ready to go within 10 minutes. So really, really helpful. I really think that this will help you if you're wanting to get onto a graduate scheme. So check it out in the description below. And with that being said, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.